right, let's get some more perspective on the markets. Rohit Srivastava, Fund Manager, Protect, PMS at Sheikh Khan's joining in as well. Rohit, morning. Thanks for taking the time out today. Well, what a move it's been for the markets yesterday. That surprise coming in from the RBI, giving it a little bit of support. What's your reading? What's the outlook looking like now for the markets?
I think 7720, that was the important support that we were watching. So we were expecting the market to bounce back from there. Even though it broke below that a little bit before the policy, now that level held out, I think we're heading back to above the 8,000 mark. Potentially, we might go as far as 8150 is what I'm expecting. If we are lucky, this move stretches a little more. If you do get, say, a bounce back even in world markets, I think it can stretch as far as 8250 in this move. So 8150 and 8250 would be the two potential targets on the upside as long as we are holding above the 7720 mark.
All right. Rohit, what's your call on the bank Nifty currently as well, and any of those banking stocks on your radar, especially after yesterday's big event?
Yeah, I think the private banks, of course, immediately come to mind, but I think even the PSU banks would show some uptick. So we're looking at stocks like ICICI Bank for upside. Particularly talking about Bank Nifty, I think 17,700 would be the key level to break beyond. And once we get past 17,700, then we'll probably look at around 18,100 to 18,500 as the next potential levels that we can achieve on Bank Nifty. The stocks like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank would be two that I would think among the private banks. And among PSU banks, I'd probably look at Allahabad Bank, which is one of the more beaten down stocks. And it could probably give you some kind of a retracement or a bounce back against the losses that it has made over the last couple of months.
Okay. Now, so what's the advice out there? Are these still good levels for traders or short-term investors to actually go long on the market?
My sense is yes. The way the markets continue to hold that level, why 7720 is important. It's exactly 61% retracement of the rally that we saw in early part of September. Once we've corrected that much and we are moving up again, the chances are we're going to go above that swing high of 8050. So the trade still exists because we haven't moved up too much yesterday because of the pressures from the global markets. But note that the Indian market actually fell to a new low below the August low in the first week of September itself, whereas world markets are just breaking the August lows now. So there's some kind of an intermarket divergence, a lead lag effect which is going on. And I think once the world markets are done, you'll get further upside push from there. So the downside pressures might actually wane in the weeks ahead. Yes, there should be a trade for the near term on the upside with a 1 to 2 week kind of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rohit, I noticed that that you've actually now turned a little bit more bullish than you were in the last couple of weeks. So I want to take a look at some of the other names that you're looking at currently. I noticed some of the capital goods majors are on your list. Talk us through the strategy there.
Yeah, so L&T and BHEL, these have been one of the worst performers, and they're the frontline stocks in the capital goods space. And I think they're almost at a bottom. I thought so a couple of days back too, but they've continued to fall. But yesterday, I think they're finally showing a pause. So I think they could retrace all the losses they made on the last 1 to 2 months. Even a 38% retracement of those losses could give you a 10, 12, 15% kind of gain from the recent lows that we have seen. So I think Larsen & Toubro and BHEL should stand out, in the bounce back.
The counter that's probably going to be in focus for the next couple of days and today as well, is the fact that we've been looking at Tata Motors and the kind of slide this counter has seen. If you look at a YTD chart for Tata Motors, that's yesterday's move, stock's down 46, 47%. Flip that, if you want to see an exact mirror of that, take a look at the Maruti YTD chart and you'll get a total mirror image of that in terms of the way it's been panning out. And it's almost at a 52-week high. Take a look at Maruti, 40% up. The Tata Motors, on the other hand, down 42, 43%. Rohit, what's your reading on both these auto majors, Tata Motors as well as Maruti?
My sense for very long had been that Tata Motors was making a long-term top, but it continues continued higher now. It's finally given in the last 6 months. So I think a long-term top is already in place. I'm not so sure it has bottomed out as yet, even for a counter-trend move. So there might still be some more downside to Tata Motors. So in that sense, I think it's a counter I would avoid. It's one of the worst performing auto stocks right now. Ideally, I would go with the performance if I'm looking for doing an interest rate play on autos. The performing stocks are Maruti and maybe Mahindra and Mahindra. So we've been recommending Mahindra over the last week or two. So my sense is that would probably do well if you want to buy something that's still lying low. Maruti has been a better performing stock within the segment. I don't have any clear targets on Maruti right now, but definitely Tata Motors is not a buy as yet, even for a bounce back.
What about M&M, Rohit? That's on your list as well?
Yeah, Mahindra and Mahindra is looking good. It's been, starting a move which could not necessarily be a retracement. It's possible that it turns out to be something else, maybe make a new high. So we have that view open. It appears to be one of the strongest stocks within the auto space because it did not fall so much with the rest of the market in the last month. And therefore, we sense that it could outperform in the weeks ahead.
All right, Rohit. Just before we wind down, I just want to get a quick comment. Less than 30 seconds to go, Rohit. What's the outlook for the rupee?
USD INR would strengthen a bit. It usually does after every rate cut. So I think it will pull back. And I think it could find support close to or slightly below the 65.50 support level. And once that is done, then you'd probably look at an uptrend resuming there as well. But right now, I think it would probably tick down a bit as the market heads higher.
All right, Rohit, thanks for joining us. We'll leave it there.